Come on, Jez. Well done, that'll do, Nick. Good.
So we're underway here at the Junction. Quick turnaround between the games due to an unfortunate couple of injuries in the women's beforehand. Just had us up against the clock, ready to get the second stream underway. But here we are for this NPL round 7 clash between Clarence and Devonport. Joining me today, Jake Hayman Morgan. How are we, sir?
And it is absolutely fantastic to be here on the eastern shore, the sunny side of the river, as it is proving today.
Yeah, it's a gloomy old Junction today as Price swings it in away by Raphael Reynolds, the Canadian, who's been a big part of Devonport's success so far this season. We'll run through the teams on the fly when we get a chance. There's Clarence in attack here. Good to see Dane Demar back in the side for Clarence today after a bit of a layoff through injury. The big Jamaican, a key part of their defence today. Cool, calm, collected Joey Stevens out there as well. Loving that, but it's Devonport on the ball early here. A rangy figure of Henry Andrews works it to Brayden Man. Now Turtle Holden. Running at Nick Naden and swinging a dangerous ball. Brayden Man almost on the end of it. And smashed away from there by Stevens. Holden picks it up for Devonport. Inside looking for Wicks, seen away from him. Chasing out after that's Jake Stewart. Got him behind here, Jake Stewart. He's done really well. Gets into the middle, Dom Smith on hand and back in defence. There's Andrews, only as far as Price. Brayden Man working back. And it's infringed. And a free kick in a good area. I thought he got away with that, man. I thought he did pretty well.
Perhaps a little bit of a shirt tug in there, but Price showing a good amount of strength there to just hold off the challenge and win the free kick in a pretty threatening position for his team. It's just interesting to note in the early stages too, just before we've got the technology up and running, was that Clarence did appear to have the benefit of the possession early, and it just seemed to be that Devonport was striking back a little there, but we've got a free kick in a dangerous spot here.
So cool, calm, collected Joey Stevens over the ball. He sends it to the back post. Rising high was Malcolm, flicked on Zykos. What a save. Well, he pulled out a couple of top draw stops last week against South Hobart, and he started sharp here.
And we've had a very good view of that one. It's just a really beautiful, strong left hand there from Zykos to keep it out of the goal. But yeah, nervous times at the back there for Devonport. Clarence have started this game quite brightly.
Clarence definitely on the offence early, away here by Andrews. Here's Tyler Fisher. He's a man in form. He gets it out there to Eddie Bidwell. They get the throw in. Back they go to Dom Smith, who's made the move to centre back this year. And looks like we might be seeing a similar setup to last week from Devonport. Smith broken up by Price into head of man. Dom Smith again, and Clarence immediately dropping back. Plenty of numbers. His dance just overhits it a little, and Bidwell's not going to get to that.
Really interesting to see the way that Clarence are setting up when Devonport have the ball. It's a really, really solid defence. Both of the fullbacks are tucking in very nicely next to their centre backs as the wingers slot back into the usual fullback position, and it's just good to see that they're really organised and happy to get numbers back behind the ball.
Devonport with plenty of numbers back there. His dance. Pass eludes man and Price away from him. So at the back for Clarence, you've got Matt Lewis and O'Dane Demar. Central defensive partnership. Hedge and Malcolm as well, so no shortage of options for them. Grant Malcolm playing as a striker though today. And he does love a goal, the big angry Scot.
He's quite a solid unit, that's for sure.
He strikes a very solid ball, takes the penalties, and he'll be hungry for a goal today as Demar works it forward, only as far as Dance. Now Bidwell. Looking to run here at Lewis. Staying tight to him, although he finds a yard. Centering ball for Fisher. Had an air swing at the crucial moment. George Hallard away now. Thumps it long in the Stewart direction.
It's a windy woof, I think, there, Andrew.
It was a bit of a windy woof. W. Andel in goals. He sends this one forward. George Hallard takes it down with a nice touch. Andrews sticking tight to him though again. Price looking to overlap. Nick Naden looking to get forward. They chip it to him, but Holden away. And the Turtle will take it off. Broken up by Hallard. Palmer in the midfield. Naden being infringed a little bit there by Andrews, and the free kick is spotted.
Yeah, ref just looking to play the advantage there, but being surrounded by 3 players, he's sensibly called it back to let Clarence take the dead ball in another dangerous spot. Been having a little bit of joy out here on the right so far this morning, with particularly the form of Price looking quite good.
Swung in. Getting a fist to it with Zykos.
Strong fist.
It's been good early, and he's had to be his Palmer. Good to see Paul Palmer back out there. He's had a shocking run of injuries. Let's go through the Clarence team quickly. Hallard and Heath, Lewis, Malcolm, Naden, Palmer, Price, W. Randall in goals, Stewart, O'Dane Zamar, and Joey Stevens. He looks to be playing in a midfield 3 with Hallard and Palmer. And the Devonport side. Get to them in a moment. Here's Braden Mann. Passes it to Holden. Wixie in there. Cult hero of Valley Road, Harrison Wicks. Played back by Jesse Dance to Dom Smith. Smith lining up in defence with Raphael Reynolds and Jack Dance. Bidwell. And Holden's done really well there. Works it to Wicks. Centering ball. Man put his foot through it and well blocked in the ends. Fine work in defence. Scrambling to get his body in the way.
There's a brilliant piece of skill from the Devonport winger just out here on the side with a little nutmeg on Jeremy Price. And I didn't quite catch a number or a name right there, but it's a brilliant piece of skill to create the chance. They got a corner here, threatening.
Good shot block by Richard Heath too there.
Very, very, very.
Look how high up the Devonport keeper Zykos has pushed here. He's halfway up the pitch. Which is an interesting little wrinkle.
And with the downhill side of Wentworth Park here, I might be questioning that decision.
Reynolds swings in away by Lewis, and then Grant Malcolm, only as far as young Harrison Wicks. And he's robbed of the ball. And they alleged to have been infringed and a free kick blown. So the rest of the Devonport side for you, fairly familiar. Andrews in midfield, Bidwell at right back, and Tyler Fisher. Flame attack, he's been in scintillating form. Michael Holden, Braden Mann, of course, and their imports again looking like they've nailed them with Zykos, Reynolds, and Fisher. Apart from that, a very young side. Here is Raphael Reynolds swinging it in. Wicks got his head to it and put it just wide of the post. And interesting to note there, the sign there, 100 games, Jeremy Price. So well done on that milestone to Price.
And we've got to congratulate him because he was quite a talented young footballer, old Jeremy Price. Should we say that horrible diagonal ball game?
Yeah, the dark side.
But he's certainly chosen his correct sport in 100 games here for Clarence. So we've got to congratulate him here today.
Missed all of last season. Good to see him back out on the park as Reynolds partnering Smith in defence here. Braden Mann lays it back for Tango Dance. He sets Smith a bit of a task, whacks it back. He's got acres of space though, Dom Smith. Sliding in full-blooded, as is custom, is George Hallard.
That is a proper challenge.
Andrews back to Smith. Wicks works it forward. Now Dom Smith. They switch flanks. Tyler Fisher now. But the ball had gone out of play.
Quite a reasonably even affair so far. There's just probably been the single chance for each of the sides so far, but I do just think that potentially Clarence have had the better of this opening stage. When in coming into this game, I was kind of expecting Devonport obviously possessing class with the like of Braden Mann to get on a little bit here, but no, it's been certainly quite promising from Clarence early. Been seeing a little bit of this early on too. Braden Mann happy to drop in a little bit deep to get the move going. Certainly can be very useful when a team is looking as well organised as Clarence are here today.
He did a mountain of work last week, Braden Mann. He's a slightly different role in the team this year. Less of a pure goal scorer and sacrificing his own game a little for the good of the team as Stewart trying to get in and rob it. And cool as a cucumber to borrow Rocket Andrews' phrasing from last week.
And in defence of Rocket, as I did say, you rarely see a cucumber that is agitated.
Yeah, very calm.
He's a very calm vegetable.
Yeah. He's Fisher in the middle for Rockets. I think we decided he's his son by the end of his performance last week. Henry Andrews in the middle. Started out as no relation, but put on a fine show in midfield as he frequently has this year. One of those Devonport young guns who've made an immediate impact stepping up into the seniors. Here's Dom Smith, who did that last year, and just getting in the back a little there was Bidwell. And a free kick blown.
You rarely see those free kicks paid the other way, do you, Andrew?
No, I don't think so. As long as they're consistent, that's the main thing. As Darby Randall launches on a long one. Reynolds up against Grant Malcolm, fell into the path of Stewart. We need to get around Dance here, Stewart. Had a good game before he was sent off last week against the Lions. Serving that suspension in the cup on Monday. Back out there. Dangerous ball, but again, Zykos is on hand to collect.
Certainly a dangerous ball though. Those balls that are on target, all it really takes when there's a bit of power behind it is a little bit of a flick from one of the forwards and the ball's in the back of the net. Once again, seeing Braden Mann drop a little bit deeper here.
It's Matty Lewis threading it forwards. Dance was there and Stewart all action and slightly different approach from Clarence today. They've got a couple up top with Malcolm and Stewart. And a back five being rolled out, it looks like, from Clarence. Is surging down the flank here is Turtle Holden. Hallard comes across to help out Price, still going. Where's Holden, but the Clarence defence does well. He's Nick Naden. One of their real creators in this side, Nick Naden. Probably their best player last season, along with the old Warhorse Hedge. Not in the side today. The Randall thumps it in the Malcolm direction. He'll play that target man role. Raph Reynolds. Class on the ball, the Canadian.
Dangerous play there.
As Andrews takes it through the middle. Works it across to Dance. It's certainly an interesting approach from both these sides. Both playing with back threes. Or back fives, depending on whether they're in possession. Well, Clarence just dropping a sea of bodies back, really. Making themselves hard to break down. Here's Smith. Hallard. Malcolm, playing a 1-2. Joey Stevens wants it. Oh, ignore Joey Stevens at your peril, George. Just dwelled on it a little long. O'Dane DeMar worked it to Price.
Could have been in a bit of trouble if he hadn't gotten the ball just there.
I think Clarence are actually in a back four. They're just dropping wingers back into a bit of a back six. Very interesting stuff. Jablonski yelling out the instructions from the sidelines. Behind it goes for a corner.
They've certainly been very animated down on the bench over here, Clarence. Really organising their team well, which is good. Certainly giving me a bit of lip here too.
We just might move one of those microphones. Just keep it under Jabba. Give the people what they want, I reckon.
No, we love it very much when the coaches get involved here at Slice of Cheese. We do love to see it.
Criscallo on the opposing bench, looking rather pensive at the moment early on. Taking his seat
I think
again.
he's learned that pose from the Dalai Lama over there. He's certainly looking very enlightened at the moment.
Rocket Andrews. That's certainly not the coach, but he does run the show. El Prez. But very zen. Interesting perspective we've got sat right between the two benches here today. Into the middle they go. Andrews looking to drive Devonport forwards. Checks it back in there to Turtle Holden. Steering ball broken up by Stevens. Then that'll come down with Snell on it.
I think perhaps that last attack is a good example of the problems that you have when a player like Braden Mann is dropping back into the play for you. Just as Clarence potentially get played through here.
Zykos again is sharp off his line. Naden
Very
working.
sharp off his line.
Naden just about had Smith done for pace, but
I'll just finish that last thought. There's just been a few occasions where Mann's dropped back into the play here and then found that he hasn't quite been quick enough to get involved in the attack immediately after, just fizzling out a little bit for Devonport.
He's playing slightly deeper with Fisher playing the striking role. They've linked up very well this season, that pair. It's been a pretty even opening to this game. Clarence looking very much up for the contest. I think getting a couple of customers like Joey Stevens and O'Dane DeMar in there will help things. We've stabilisers for them. I do like the Lewis and DeMar partnership there, as much as Lewis would prefer to be playing midfield. DeMar shuts that one down. Stevens now, pressured by Mann. W. Randall out to whack this one away from a lurking Fisher. And Malcolm chests it down. Good work here from Big Grant Malcolm. Reynolds, got a foot on it, deflected onto the post in the end. That nearly tipped in. That's surely a corner though.
Oh.
I don't think he would have taken the same trajectory without that deflection.
Now, I always take the side of our referees here, but I will perhaps say that they just didn't quite have as good a view of it as we had over at the bench here. Clearly a corner there.
Very diplomatically put as Fisher closes down Lewis.
Little bit disappointing here to see that the man that makes this game possible is copping a bit of stick here.
I'd get used to that, mate. This one's flicked off there to Naden.
Part of the job.
I think all in good spirit down on the bench for now. As
That's certainly right.
Centres it back for
All
Dance.
smiles.
Now the angler, Tyler Fisher, works it forward. DeMar charging out. Stewart to DeMar. Great to see him back out there. Looked absolute class in the opening couple of legs for Clarence before hamstring injury ruled him out for a while. Some real star power to this side as Lewis almost got into trouble playing out there. Now eventually works it to Naden with a good ball. Hallard gets around Andrews, sits into the path of Price, but broken up there by Holden. Dance forwards, away by Lewis. And Nick Naden doing really well in tight areas here. Worked it back for Hallard, played it back to Naden. His touch just letting him down. And Dom Smith will build from the back. Brader man again, dropping deep. The brothers dance pass between themselves. And back to Zykos. Thieves in the Holden direction. And Price coming from behind that. Worked away, coming together between the two number threes, Smith and Naden.
It's just a brilliantly one header there from Naden.
Fisher threads it through for Wicks. This is promising. Saved. Did he get a piece of it? He has.
It certainly sounded like he had a little piece of that, but from the looks of it, it's
straight over the top.
Been given a goal kick. I do have a big metal pole smack bang in the middle of my view of that, to be fair enough.
Yeah, the scaffolding can make it a little tough to see from that angle, but look, I think when it starts raining later on, we'll be quite happy for it, as this one's brought down, work to Naden, plays it back for Price. Palmer. Now Naden. Naden getting around a couple. Works it to Hallard. Deflects up in the air, but again, Holden can work it to man. Oh, cool, calm, collected Joey Stevens just winning it back. Palmer to Lewis. Lofts it forward.
Just going to be really interested in the second half to see just who's getting the benefit of the possession and in what areas. We're certainly probably seeing in the first half a lot more of Clarence in the forward half, probably helped a little bit by the slope on the pitch here today, but certainly hasn't quite been as I expected here today. I've been very impressed with Clarence's organisation. Just as we wait for the goal kick to get the ball back into play.
So, game devoid too many chances early in this one. Bit of a feeling out process.
Certainly set Price a task to do there, but he's stood up to it quite nicely.
Here's Andrews, the rangy legs just get there, and he plays it from the ground quite spectacularly in the end. Well done there by young Andrews. Man in the bullseye, sends it wide.
Centipede-like.
Hey.
Just coiled around the ball.
Here's the angler. Works it back. The dance. He sets it up in the man direction. Randall comes and just about deals with it. Got a piece of it, and now Naden can carry away. Target man Malcolm, not quite able to control it, but working hard up there, the big fella.
Yeah, working very hard.
Yeah, good matchup, him and Reynolds at the back today. Very physical customers. Here's Fisher again.
Do worry about his turning circle a little bit. Perhaps the size of a small greyhound.
Stevens carries it forward. Sweeping ball over the top into the path of Naden, but Zykos is there, just slightly overhit. But again, it's a couple of times Naden's got in behind Smith on this side. Here's Holden. In the man direction, chested it down. Too far out, ahead of himself. Randall collects. Andrews to man. Now Dance works it to Fisher. I don't want to give him too much space. That was closed down by Lewis. He's shown a propensity to blast him in from long range this year already, Tyler Fisher. Two defenders coming in from either side, but Devonport maintaining the ball. Here's Bidwell now. Throws in a couple of step overs, the young fella. Plenty of numbers back again, and Lewis blocks the cross. Now Andrews gets involved. Swings in the man direction. Out by Stevens. Stewart dispossessed by Tango. Now Fisher. To man. The Fisherman. And over the bar it goes.
Unfortunately, weren't able to catch anything there.
Certainly caught the ball with his laces quite probably, but over the bar it goes.
Lovely, well-weighted ball straight over to us from the ref just there.
Good techers.
Yeah, great techers.
Been put in my place by a real legend around these parts of Matthew Dyson, informing me it was a groin injury, not a hamstring injury that kept Damar out, so apologies for that one. Either way, good to have him back, and all the best with your cricketing career over there, Dyser. Hallard works it to Price. This one takes a little deflection. Malcolm in there. Will it fall for Stewart? He turns, blocked. Plenty numbers back, driving it was Palmer, but didn't make clean contact, and wide of the mark it goes.
Lovely little block there from the Devonport centre back. They've still looked reasonably composed here at the back, Devonport, despite coming under threat for probably the majority of the game. What I've noticed so far about the game is just how quickly in transition the teams are to get back. No doubt spurred on by some fairly colourful folks on the bench.
Here's Stewart. Back to Palmer. P squared, works it there to Hallard. Hallard. Very tough customer in the midfield, George Hallard.
Yeah, a bit impressed with his game so far.
Just a quintessential English player, really. I mean,
snapping into tackles.
Full-blooded. Real old-fashioned stuff. Big fan of it. Speaking of Englishmen, here's Richard Heath. He's been in pretty good form in the left-back position in recent weeks, Heath. I mean, a tough match-up for the likes of Wicks running at him today. Randall swings this one wide. Clarence with a chance for throw, and you've got a couple who can heave them in here. Hallard comes short, presents. Price couldn't get round Andrews. Lock that off. Palmer across to deal with Tyler Fisher. Here's Dom Smith. Cross to Reynolds. Eventually closed down, and his pass was a poor one. Heath there sends it straight forward in the Naden direction. And just got tunnelled a little there, Naden.
And he's just copped the ball right where it hurts after giving away the foul. Perhaps a little bit of cosmic justice there.
This Braden man gets in the path of Grant Malcolm. Wicks swings it in with the left. Price in ahead of Fisher. Now Jake Stewart. Naden's offside here. Not quite a distance. Zykos.
Our linesman's certainly in a very good position to make that call and makes the correct one.
Stevie Wonder could have made that call, I reckon, mind you. He'd strayed rather blatantly there, Nades, as this one's worked forward. In the Holden direction with a nice touch, centering pass. Oh, just past the post from Harrison Wicks. And blocked behind in the end.
Seems to have taken a little bit of a knock in the process too. Harrison Wicks, he's certainly hanging on to it. Probably just a little bit of a blow to a hard point on the ankle there. We suspect he'll be up and about in a second.
So the corner swung into the mix. Randall palms away. They should clear their lines.
Oh, Jake Stewart.
Jakey Stewart making inroads. Cuts inside.
Oh, he's done
turns,
brilliantly there.
fires it straight at Zykos.
He's had a little bit of joy up his side today, old Jakey Stewart. He's beaten his man probably for the third time today just there, and probably carrying a really good attacking threat there for Clarence.
Now it's Devonport at the other end. Braden Mann with a silky touch and fired on the volley straight at the keeper, but geez, he just took it down and set the shot for himself superbly there, man. Not far away.
No, he's very, very quick movements right there. Devonport just starting to play their way into the game a little bit more over the last few minutes as man jinks into the box and well blocked there from potentially Matt Lewis, was it? Corner to Devonport.
Game coming to life here. Another corner swung in over a couple of heads. Clarence clear the area. Good delivery though from Reynolds, who's back on hand to swing something else in. He sets this one up for the back post. Andrews was there, but he's had a lax direction.
So a pretty organised first half for us so far, Andrew. What are your thoughts coming into the second?
I think Clarence would be pretty happy so far. Devonport coming into this game after one of the performances of the season last week against South Hobart. They were outstanding, and Clarence will be pretty happy to get through the first half now. They've not looked outmatched. They've created a couple of good chances, and it looks like a game that could go either way. Devonport just starting to create a little bit more now, but I think certainly Jake Stewart looking very lively, and Naden too. And if they can get those two running off the likes of Malcolm, then they've got plenty of threat back the other way.
It's the dead ball here for Devonport. Whipped in a little bit low.
Almost flicked on by Dance. Stewart all dangerously in. Got rid of it in the end. Always a risk when you come in from behind there. Did it well though.
Just a little bit of a soft free kick in the lead up to that one, I think.
Bidwell for Wicks. Dance rather, and he sends this one in the Fisher direction. Gets his head to it, but the direction goes backwards, and Naden had a bit more time than he thought. No one talking to him there. Told him to take a touch, but he wasn't to know it. Here's Braden Mann playing that deeper lying role. Now Holden crosses to the back post over the head of Bidwell. who pushed his defender in the back. Devonport bench just suggesting he might want to get his hands down in future. Just gently putting it to him.
We need to be gentle with some footballers these days, and a typical characteristic.
Here's Heath. Hallard. And the across was Dance. I think after a year of working under Peter Saville, most of these Devonport boys would be well used to a bit of some more colourful terms being thrown their way, perhaps, shall we say?
I think they might have calloused ears, to be honest, Andrew.
It's Devonport. You can get the ball forward down the flanks here. Sliding in was Stevens. Cross blocked by DeMar. Gets the follow-up. In front of the Salon Karma sign. Go get your salad fixed up there. Leslie will fix you up a treat. It's a throw in. Taken by the strikers. Andrews. For Bidwell. Devonport just starting to get on top in possession here. Here's Holden. Slides it through for man. Return pass. The flag was raised.
That's a very good decision from the linesman, actually. He's probably straight off by a metre or so, but he's in the perfect spot and makes the correct decision.
Well done by the Clarence defence holding their line there too.
Because the linesmen don't get praised when they do the good decision like that, Andrew.
Except when you're a coach, Jake. No, sharp decision. Flicked on. Here's Malcolm. Malcolm works it forward. Zykos will collect. I just feel like Devonport are just starting to get on top in the last few minutes here. Here's Braden Mann growing into the contest. Stevens picked his pocket. And Smith was collected a little bit late there by Stevens. Just a fraction late. Here's Braden Mann. Turning in the middle. He's got two defenders for company. Well, someone moved in the end. He's turned it over. Dance. Plenty of space here. Jack Dance. He swings it forward, straining the sinews there. And falls into the path of Fisher. Lays it off for Wicks. Straight at Darby Randall. And a comfortable save. Promising build-up, though, from the strikers.
Yeah, potentially just starting to tire a little towards the end of the half here, the Clarence boys, but they've been certainly working very hard to stay organised. Devonport just starting to kick on here as man collects. Begins to drive forward. Cuts inside. Looks for the shot.
Just
Not a
wide.
bad effort.
Given too much space there, Braden Mann. He's more than capable from range.
Go, Jess, want it.
Good bit of play here for Clarence.
Here's Nick Naden. Naden on the left. Zykos down to make the stop. Did well.
A decent effort there from Naden as Devonport looked to counter up the right side. Looking like a bit of space is opening up for them here.
Here's Braden Mann at the top of the box. Jess Price does well to put him off. Lays into the path of Wicks. A couple in the middle there. Fishes the target. Glancing header just wide of the post. They're knocking on the door, Devonport, but they just can't quite knock it down.
Really starting to come alive here.
Hallard stepping up into play. Worked it to Malcolm. Fancy little back heel. Well defended by Dance though. And now his brother feeds it out for Holden. Turtle Holden. Cuts inside. Lays it back for Andrews. They spread the play. Clarence have got plenty of numbers back. Now Dance has been given plenty of space in the middle. Works it to Holden. Holden's pass was poor and Demar on hand to break it up. Naden running at Dom Smith. They shoulder up with each other there. Reynolds comes across, didn't deal with it though. And then Smith clatters into Naden, play on the call. And Devonport back the other way through Andrews.
I think the referee has opted with shown good strength there rather than fouled.
Here's Andrews. Cross to Holden, he'll want to get on his left foot here. He tried to drive outside. Price was awake to it though and sticks it behind.
Certainly had a busy day out there on the right, old Jeremy Price.
Up in the air from Lewis, has to compete against Fisher. Held his footing and then didn't deal with it there, Lewis. Lets him back in. Third time lucky. Recovered his error well, Lewis.
I think he would have wanted to right there, I think, Lewis.
He chips it forward in the Smith direction. Malcolm made him feel that one. Hallard works it forward for Naden. Smith again. Holden with a great little pass there to Man who jinks around defender and sends it forward. This is a good chance here for Wicks. But again, just lacking conviction with the shot.
I'm beginning to think that Devonport may be a bit better placed in this game if they opted to keep Braden Mann a little bit closer to goal at the moment. Just seeming to lack a threat with the final shot on. So Winks has been working very hard up there for them. He's just lacked that final effort so far.
He's had a couple of openings. I think the build-up play has been pretty good from Devonport, just lacking that end product at the moment.
Man comes deep again. One of the things about his style is he's so adept at dribbling the ball that he'll often try and dribble past players in midfield. Just feel like one of the best ways that Clarence could get an opening is perhaps by trying to win the ball high up the pitch against a player like Man who's trying to take a few of them on.
He'll be worried about Devonport's pacing behind, I think. Certainly Fisher and Wicks exposed South Hobart a little bit last week with that. Palmer comes over the top of Andrews. Grant Malcolm shows strength just to shield the ball. Does it nicely. Now the overlapping Price. Plays it first time. Straight to Smith who mishit the clearance. Braden Mann now sets the counter-attack away. Here's Eddie Bidwell.
Here's that pace you were talking about, Andrew.
Down the line for Wicks. Returns it in stride there for Bidwell, but plenty of numbers on hand for the Reds. And Demar saw it away. Here's Heath. Now Hallard. Hallard lofts it over the top for Naden. Zykos right on the edge of his area. Nicely, and that will be all she wrote for the first 45 minutes at Wentworth Park. 0-0 the score, but a pretty entertaining contest. Yeah. No one able to break the deadlock. Both teams have had good spells, I think. The longer the half we're on, the better the strikers looked, which is often the case when you
I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Been quite impressed by Zykos in his moments over in the goal over there. Whenever Old Rocket's just been told to go for a swim by the Clarence staff over there. So lovely day for it.
Yeah, real murky grey skies. But a pretty good contest here, and the spectators definitely getting their value. 0-0 at the break here. Neither team able to find a breakthrough. We'll be back with the second half shortly. So about to get back underway here at the Gingin. Now at the score. Clarence have not made any changes, but it looks like the strikers have pulled young Harrison Wicks. I think Lindsay Millington's come on for him. He's playing. So Wixie getting the legwork on, getting that strapped up, so his day's come to a premature end. I can't see his number, but I'm pretty sure that's Lindsay Millington who's come on. He started the year as a centre-back, but played all last year as a striker in the championship team, I believe, so really no surprise to see him up top, and it is Lindsay Millington. He's Braden Man on the ball early, works it to Fisher. Tyler Fisher looking to shape the shoot on that left, but Clarence alert to that threat, and Lewis snuffs that one out. Price chested down by Palmer, too far out ahead of Naden.
Watch your back here, to your left, George. Joey tight.
Switch the play from Reynolds to Dance. Fisher left it behind. Let him meet Lewis, who turned around him nicely. Fake the pass. Turns back the other way. Heath turns inside and wins the throw. Heaves it down the line, flicked on by Stewart. Reynolds on hand though.
Certainly looking forward to getting a bit of a closer look at Jakey Stewart in this second half, working up our line.
It's been very impressive. Fisher takes the throw in. Heath wins it back. Hallard released it first time. Stewart just kept it in.
He should win the throw here.
So the free kick was blown. It'll be on halfway. Good decision there.
Very good decision.
So Lewis sends it long over the head of Stewart. Smith gets a toe away. Surging through the other way is Turtle Holden. Now Millington. Fisher lurking towards the back post. Instead sends it back for Holden. Now driving forwards is Andrews. He's got space to shoot. Deflects up. Heath didn't deal with it well.
Jakey Stewart's just let his man get right away from him here.
That's blocked behind for a corner. No, Lewis at full stretch has kept it to a throw in. Well done, Lewis.
Yeah, well done there from Matt Lewis too. Oh,
Perhaps not.
they are setting up for a corner here. It could be a very, very long throw, but I seriously doubt he'd be able to hurl it that far. And no, Matt Lewis didn't quite get to that one, and it's been given as a corner.
Give a man a rap. Totally undeserved, apparently. Yep. So a chance for Holden to swing it in with the left, headed by Millington, and the substitute off the bench and onto the score sheet. Lindsay Millington makes it 1-0 Strikers.
Yeah, just unfortunately, no Clarence defender to really get in there and give him a real problem with that one. He probably had about half a metre between him and the next defender, and a well-finished header. I have to say the goalkeeper's probably got little chance to keep that one out, struck with real power. And Devonport just using the hill to their advantage here and just starting to take over the game. Just breaking again here up the flank, Devonport. Intercepted by Lewis. Oh, and a lovely little ball here through to Man. Oh, and he's hit it very hard across the face. Oh! Keeps gets out well to deny Devonport a quick second. Clarence just looked to get on the break here through Hallard. Flicks it over the top. Touches just deserted him there from Nick Naden. Devonport recover the ball. Man dropping deep once again to pick up.
So the strikers have come out of the sheds with a real sense of purpose here, and Andrew is just coasting through the middle with acres of space. He blasted over the top. They sat off, and in the end, parting of the Red Sea there for him. He put it over the top, but
I think that's hitting the bar without the hill.
you're very keen on this hill.
I'm very, very keen on this hill, Andrew. I think it's going to be a big factor here today.
You're like a cricket commentator at Lord's, prattling on about the hill. As Randall launches this one along. Hallard and Dance compete. Dance won the header. Andrews, Millington, and Bidwell, running into each other. Hallard back with the ball. Flicked over the top into the path, and Naden Holden tracking back. Great ball. Naden looking to cut inside into his preferred left. Got the ball in the end. Dom Smith.
Just a little bit of the ball there. Well defended.
It was awkwardly done, but he did get enough of it. And a handball there against Andrews. Palmer thinks about taking it quickly. Here's Palmer over the dead ball. Punches it low. Goes through to Zykos. Comfortable save.
You certainly don't want to be making a mistake with those ones as a keeper.
Oh, Fisher's giving Lewis the slip here. Tyler Fisher charging into the box. He's a left footer. Jinks outside. Tyler Fisher tucks it home. 2-0 strikers. He's cut through them there like a hot knife through butter. And it's 2-0.
Just starting to see a couple of the things that Clarence did so well in the first half with their wing backs their full backs rather in particular, tucking in beside their centre backs. But yeah, just seeing that beautiful shape that they had start to desert them, and yeah, well taken goal. It's the hill, mate. A little bit of an attempt for a shout for handball there for Clarence, but I think that's a fairly natural position. Stevens just plays inside to Hallard. Hallard attempting to play Price in, but Devonport recover once again and look to break quickly. Got a 2-on-1 situation here with Lewis, who might want to just step up a little.
Man, looking to lay it back. We saw last week Devonport come out of the sheds with a renewed purpose. I don't know what Chris Gallo's telling him at half time, but he seems to be able to get a lift out of his charges. We've seen it a few times this year. And they've come out and looked very sharp in the opening moments here. Fisher goes down, play on. Here's Andrews. Lays in the path of the overlapping Bidwell. Lewis across to deal with him, and in the end, Bidwell's cross was poor.
Damar's certainly given a bit of a glare to the Devonport player who's gone down there a bit softly.
He was not best impressed. Blistering 5 minutes coming in from the sheds. He's got Devonport 2 to the good. And very much looking like they'll continue their impressive run of form. Clarence with plenty of time to respond as Palmer sticks this one up in the Malcolm direction. Zykos does well to collect.
Yeah, just a little bit too much float on that ball, unfortunately.
Dance puts it out of
Play
play.
down. Got a player down in the box up by Clarence. Could potentially be a bit of a head injury, which is why they've opted to put the ball out of the play.
They're not good to see. Fire down. Yeah,
Looks like we've potentially copped a head blow here. can't quite see who the player is who's down at the moment.
So a chance perhaps for Clarence to regroup. I need a response here. They've been jumped out of the blocks in this second half.
Almost be welcome respite for Clarence at the moment here. Just gives them a chance to reorganise. But certainly still down behind the play here. Hopefully he'll be back up soon and well.
Brandon Mann just saying they've not put a side away this year. Let's do it. So he's hungry for goals.
Run
No
up the score, I
surprise.
think, from Braden there.
No surprise. Never met a hungry man in my life. He's keen for some. Oh,
I met Matt Preston once.
Was he wearing a cravat?
Certainly hungry.
So Dance back to his feet, but looking rather groggy.
So the play down behind play was Jack Dance, and he is standing now. He's looking for permission to come back onto the field.
He wants to get back on. Look a little groggy, but play continues, and Holden running at Price, got a foot in, and then Price takes it away from Mann. Goes back to Randall.
Dance has just tried to sneak back on here pretty quickly. He's been
Yeah,
allowed back on now from the ref.
So as it stands, Devonport, albeit before everyone else has played this round, a live ladder would be on top. Over the top, over Hallard's head. Flicked on by Bidwell. Now Heath. Heath spreads it to Naden. Now Price looking to bomb forwards down the right. His path halted by Holden.
Hacked the clearance a bit there. It's ended up okay.
Holden back to Smith, and now Andrews through the middle. Jesse Dance. Bidwell wants it. Lewis thumps it away. Reynolds tracking back with Stevens lurking. Andrews again with plenty of space there. Across for Holden, really looking to run a Price. He jinxes inside and round him and fires it over the top. Just wide of the mark. It was a lovely run, but unfortunately the shot didn't have the same quality.
Had a good amount of swerve on the ball, but just not entirely close to the target there. But carrying a threat from all areas at the moment, Devonport. Oh, and a lovely turn there from DeMar.
Stevens, he's got it back. Walked away from him. Well played, man.
Probably the best moment so far for Clarence. They broke at speed there. Really going to be wanting to get a goal from this corner, you'd think. Just to put a bit more pressure back onto the Devonport team and get themselves back into it. Hallard to take. Floaty ball to the back post. Oh! And Price has nearly chipped the keeper on an attempted cross there.
Mind it from Price.
Another corner for Clarence here.
Interesting to see there DeMar when he was storming forwards, looking like they've pushed him up a little bit more, trying to get him involved. So a couple of corners as Clarence.
Lovely ball there from Hallard.
Well away by Reynolds. Now Stevens. Out to Hallard. He was offside.
Look to get it on quickly here. Devonport breaking up the right-hand side. Oh. Starting to control the play a little bit more here, Clarence, as Devonport a couple of goals up with that clearance over there. Hard to maintain control when you're shanking the upfield pass like that.
So Bidwell. Andrews back to Bidwell. Now Dom Smith. Oh, you forward Holden. The run at Price, who was diligent in defence and puts it behind for a corner. Going to be Raph Reynolds to wrap his foot around this one. Stewart on the out. Back in, turning with it's Andrews, surrounded by red shirts here. Lays it back for Fisher. Centering past Smith, just broke it up and Dance was lurking. Well, we're not using that screen anyway, so no worries there.
Yeah, vicious attack on the commentators there from Jack Dance. Disgusted that the referee hasn't produced our first slice of cheese. The officials do need to be protected.
So I don't Demar playing as a striker, and I like it from Clarence. That'll be a slice of cheese for Andrews.
And I think that is about the third time that Andrews has done that today, and he's absolutely deserved having the ball belted into him there. I don't really know what he's complaining about because it's the third or fourth time I've seen him do it.
Might stop him doing it now.
And I think having a ball absolutely belted into your stomach will stop you essentially cheating in that manner.
And the slice, you wouldn't want to cop another, as Malcolm sends this one high. Nodded on by Stewart, but Zykos is there. Here's Holden. Running freely down the left. He's been really lively in this second half, especially Holden. Millington. It's broken up by Palmer. Now Malcolm over the top, searching for Naden. Sent him a task. Ran hard, but was never getting there.
Absolutely loved that from Malcolm before. Absolutely loved it.
Oh, another surging run down the left here from Holden. He beats one, he beats two. Lewis came across in coverage and finally killed it. And played it out of Holden too, so well done there, Lewis. Holden making defenders miss.
Yeah. Another good decision from the officials there.
I do like this formation that the strikers have trotted out in the last couple of weeks. The three centre backs, Holden as a wing back and Bidwell on the right. Dance and Andrews just in front of the back four. And Man in a slightly deeper role. Very effective. Here's Bidwell. Braden Mann. Stevens tied to him, but Mann takes it away. Tries to jink inside. Does so well. Works it to Andrews. And he spreads the play further to Holden. Holden looking to beat Price. Chips it in. Well blocked, but Millington came and got there before anyone from Clarence could. Works it back to Holden. Curls it in the Man
Lovely
direction.
ball.
Put the pressure on Randall. Gathers now.
Taken quickly.
Demar the target.
Seen him move up the pitch now into that striking position to carry a bit more threat for Clarence.
Holden wins the header. Want it to Bidwell. Sorry, Millington. Lays it back for Holden, who's been involved in everything in this half. Sends the ball to the back post where Bidwell's overlapped. He nods it back. Will it sit for Dance? Chests it down. Lewis across to win the ball for Clarence.
Bidwell's just starting to have a fair bit of joy up this right-hand side for Devonport at the moment, as potentially the order's been that Jakey Stewart needs to stay a bit higher up the pitch and try and get in behind them a bit more quickly. It's got to take risks like that when you're a couple of goals down in the game, but just the risk that there could be a third here.
Stewart,
and he's just been cleaned up by Zykos.
A slice of cheese. Zykios just outside the box.
I think Zykos could be very lucky that he's just had his two defenders slot in behind him there, or potentially he could have been in a bit more of a bother.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was playing.
Probably the correct decision there though from the referee.
Have they got anyone who can kill something around here? Looks like Demar fancies it.
Is he giving the keeper the slice of cheese?
He gave someone a slice. I think it was Zykos. I'm sure everyone's seen the replay and knows what happened without it, but no doubt Ash Wilkes providing those fine pictures through to you. Now, monitor without power, but O'Dane Demar with the set piece, he's killed it over the top. Never threatening the net there.
Yeah, perhaps a very close to the goal.
That explains heaps if you can't see that. Drop down, Rich.
So, Holden again. Diving in with Stevens, and he won the ball well. Now Naden to Malcolm. He sends it away to Stewart and reaching back and getting a piece of it.
Dance.
It was Dance. Not sure what dance move that was, but very effective one. Just stretched and got there.
I think it's called the keeping them out. Certainly recovered well from that head injury before. So Matty Lewis just collects the ball and opts to give Devonport the throw rather than risk any further catastrophe at the back. Heath sells some candy nicely, and he's won the free kick here for Clarence.
He's Dance. Reynolds. Now Smith. Out to Holden. Drives into the box again. Sets it back for man. Deflects. Malcolm clears the area. Again, Holden causing all sorts of problems down that wing.
Causing him all sorts down there, but yeah, composed there from Malcolm. He probably the best option to just put it out for the corner. He was under considerable pressure there, and perhaps not the most noted defensive expert in the game.
Don't mind him.
Certainly solid though.
He's had a few good weeks at centre back with Hedge, but been moved to a different role this week. This one swung to the back post and nodded home by Andrews. 3-0, and that you'd have to say is probably the ball game. Another corner, another well executed set piece, and Henry Andrews up to nod home.
Yeah, just potentially a little bit disappointed with the keeping there. It's potentially could have got a hand to that one there, Randall. It's certainly right inside his 6-yard box, so potentially should be dealing with that one, I would think. But you'd have to think that there's no way back for Clarence now. Devonport just look to get the game started again here. Certainly been an inspiring second half performance from them, and they're just looking to break here down the left again. Price getting run at, and he's certainly taking up a good position there. Looks for Naden. Jinking away up the flank, and a good challenge in there from who I think was one of the dancers.
Here's Price now, swinging it into the back post. Stewart nods it down. Reynolds back to his keeper. It's been a great second half showing this from the strikers. They've looked in control since the restart, and they're putting it on the scoreboard. And albeit on a temporary basis, appears set to be atop the table.
Been impressed with Bidwell today.
Very impressive young player. Big shoes to fill. Adam Gorry, although moved into the role later in the year, but was a gunner right back for the strikers last year. And certainly brings similar traits. He doesn't stop running. He gets up and down this flank all day. He's as fit as they come, and just another one of these Devonport youngsters.
I've seen a fair bit of South Hobart this year, and I've certainly been impressed by Gorry's performances, and yeah, he definitely does get up and down that flank nicely like Gorry. I always worry when you lose good players like that, but if you can bring in youngsters like this, it's good.
It's been the great work. Dangerous ball just over the head of Damar. Zykos deals with it. But certainly when you lose 8 or 9 from your title-winning team, it's always going to be tough to replace them, but done a terrific job blooding these youngsters who do not look out of pace. The dancers, the Bidwells, the Andrews have really stepped up. And again, they've got those impulses right, which helps. 3 quality players just to bring some leadership and some experience to the team.
They breed them tough up there.
And there's a lot of yelling going on out here from the Clarence players at each other, which doesn't exactly inspire confidence. They're going to fight back, and Randall back to get that one. Millington just spied him off his line and tried the volley chip.
He's certainly not sounding too happy with his outfield players here, Randall.
Throw down the line for Damar. Reynolds on hand. Here go kick.
More of an appeal for a free kick out of hope than anything, really.
I've liked Raf Reynolds' move to centre back too. Played defensive, kind of more of a midfield role earlier on in the year, but just stepped into that Joey Zupo role, if you like, quite nicely.
I was a big fan of Zupo.
It's stayed in. Heath was certain a moment ago had gone out. Makes a good challenge from the ground there. And Hallard comes flying in. Bidwell to fish up. He sends it in, blocked by Palmer. Now Dance. Surging through the middle, broken up by Stewart. Now Hallard down the middle, but chinking in his Dance. Now he is holding again. Man, Andrews. And just moving the ball around the pitch nicely here, the strikers. Dance still going. Centres it for Fisher. Back again to Dance. Content just to probe for the time being, and now chips, and clever little block from Heath on Bidwell. Don't think he was getting to it regardless. Lewis does well looking around Bidwell, who's utterly relentless. Look at him flying in there, and in the end it spills out off him. But
he was utterly relentless down there. That was, yeah, certainly some interesting play there from the Clarence boys, trying to play it out from the back. But yeah, well shut down from Bidwell, who's certainly panting on the jog back to the halfway line.
Randall sends it long. Over Malcolm's head. He's Heath up against Fisher.
A little bit of a shirt tug that's missed by the ref there.
Clarence maintained the ball anyway. Stewart in the direct approach to Damar, but Reynolds just Slotted in front of him, won it away.
Yeah, wonderful header there from Raphael Reynolds, but the striker's midfield just lets it go through. Hallard with a little flick through to Naden, but Naden's touch just deserts him under pressure from Dance there.
Here's Raph Reynolds carrying out from the back. Dom Smith in the Millington direction, just flicked it on nicely for Holden, who surges into the box, slides it past the keeper and onto the woodwork, gets his own rebound and makes it 4-0.
Oh, lovely composed stuff there.
Deserved a goal, Holden.
He really did. He's been rampant up that left flank really today. That shown a lovely change of pace. But nothing the keeper could really do there, unfortunately. But bounced back nicely for him off the upright. Game gets underway for the 5th time in that second half. But I've certainly been very impressed by the way that Devonport have broken at pace down this hill in the second half, as looks like they're looking to make a sub here and get another one of their up-and-coming young players onto the pitch. Just a couple of subs coming into the game here for both sides. Got young Lachlan Ford coming in for the already yellow-carded Henry Andrews. George Hallard comes off for Andrew Robb. And Heath is exchanged for Heggie.
So DJ Higgy being introduced here, and Andrew Robbie Cruz. Just a striking resemblance.
Oh, I have not noticed that before, and absolutely, I will give you that one.
Malcolm up against the newly introduced Devonport youngster as Naden flicks it through. Reynolds read that well though.
Very impressed by Reynolds today at the heart of this defence.
Just reads it so well.
Certainly had some good dead ball deliveries too at times.
Flicked on looking for Rob. Bidwell away from him. The two number 4s go at it. Now Lachlan Ford with his first involvement. Bidwell still working hard. So in the final 15 here. 4-0 the score.
Quickly attempting to find DeMar.
Millington, not terribly impressed with that decision, but I think he's been good since coming on, Millington. He's added another dimension up top for them, bit of a physical edge up there. Naden's return pass to Heggie, straight out of play.
Yeah, touch just deserting him a little there. He's worked hard over there, usually on the right though, have to say, Nick, but hasn't quite been enough for Clarence to get the victory today.
Dance in the Fisher direction, flicked on. Lewis turns back the other way. Gives it back to his keeper, who's pressured by Millington.
Lovely ball out though to Price. Looks
Nice.
to break.
quickly from Price. Demar flicks on into the path of Stewart, who continued his run, but on hand as ever was Raph Reynolds. Sees it out of play. Wide it goes to Bidwell. Bidwell, the lovely pass. Fisher.
Straight away on the overlap too.
Oh, what a ball from Fisher. Picks out Brader, man. This could be 5.
And he's just missed it.
Puts it past the post. How's the ball from Tyler Fisher to set him up?
It's just a glorious ball. Looks like keeper could have left a little bit in there for Braden, man.
Yeah, he's come off second best, but the Fisher-Man combination has been great to watch again today. The salty Sea Dogs up top, just getting it done.
They found themselves amongst it, that's for sure.
Lewis to Palmer, back to Lewis. Now Malcolm drives it.
Oh, lovely little flick there from Demar.
Ooh, he's got the better of Reynolds here, Demar. Sweeping across in defence. Demar.
A slice of cheese for a bit of dissent there, going to Demar, but I think I can potentially understand that dissent there because I'm not quite sure what the decision was for. Seemed a good solid contest between two physical units.
Hey, a little bit of royalty just being introduced down in front of us. The King himself ready to strut on for 10 minutes here. Chrissy McKenna. And he'll replace the captain, Brader Man. He's put in another great shift today for his side. So the captain replaced by the King.
Sporting some fantastic war wounds there on his left eye, the King too.
Hey, someone's clobbered him there at some point. I'm not sure what's going on there.
He's certainly a big unit. Much love figure down at Devonport.
Royalty.
Been playing there a long time.
And an absolute star of the club for a very long time. And he's still sharp. The little wily customer up top. He flings himself to the deck there. It's put out a play.
Devonport just looked to get in behind here again.
Ball from Holden, searching for the King. He sets it for Fisher, just mistimed his volley. Newington chasing back after it, can't get there. Now Stewart and Holden. Stewart does well to get around him. And threads it for Demar, who was offside.
Yeah, he's probably just strayed half a metre offside there. Another good decision from that linesman out there. It's just a terrible ball there from Zykos, who's put himself in real trouble, but just gets across to cover Rob's shot there. Just a few words going the way of Stratos down here on the Clarence bench. I think that the words are entirely unfair. He did appear to drop the ball and pick it again, but Devonport move away quickly and grab themselves another corner.
So Dane Demar being replaced by Sam Randall. So the corner swung in by Holden.
King taking imposing imposing position in front of Randall here as the ball about to be swung in.
Probably putting it right on his head. Instead they go towards the top of the
Top
box.
to Bidwell. He's had a hit.
Just over.
Very watchful from Randall.
Dance back to Zykos. So we tick towards the end of this one. Devonport Strikers doing it comfortably. It's been all one-way sailing here in the second half. Pretty tightly first 45 even. Oh, here's a chance out the back, and Rob goes for the first time finish, and it's just skewed towards the back post.
Yeah, gets into a good spot, but just unfortunately lacking in the finish. Bidwell once again getting very tight to this line. Very high up the pitch, looking to overlap again. Go out the other side.
Flicked on in the King's direction. And now Tyler Fisher picks it up. Gets around Heggie, lays it off for Bidwell, chips to the back post. And here is the King. Volleys in the path of Millington, first time. Beautiful hit, 5-0. All too easy at the back there. Devonport cutting them apart.
And the Devonport fans will love that one, I would think.
Now
The King coming onto the pitch and getting on with an assist. Lovely little ball across the face and a clinical finish.
Millington, 2 goals off the bench, good return for him. I was playing as a centre back the first few weeks, but I think may have found his spot up top here.
I'm going big on the hill theory here, Andrew. Bidwell's just copped a little bit of a clobbering across the face here.
That's what you got to do when you get kicked, yeah?
Probably the disappointing ball we've seen. Most disappointing ball we've seen from Raphael Reynolds today, but Clarence recover. Matt Lewis put under a bit of pressure. Drops it out to Heggie, plays to Rob. Stevens. Just relentless pressure here from Devonport. I think they've certainly taken Braden Mann's words to heart during that little injury break at the start of this half, and they're really looking to put the boot in here. Oh, a little bit of a volleyball move there.
Here's Dance. It's been a fantastic performance in this second half from the Strikers. They are looking the real deal this year. Once again, new look team, but just as good. They are genuine contenders. Here's Reynolds.
Just as we head into these last few minutes, who's been your man of the match here today, Andrew?
It's
I've
a
been
tough
very
one.
impressed. It is a tough one.
I think this lad here would have to feature very prominently in any discussions. I think Holden's been great.
Holden's been great. I've been very impressed by Bidwell up the right.
There's Fisher, cuts it back, and Holden might just have, well, he might have been able to seal it there, but he puts it over the bar. I think there's been a lot of winners on the day for Devonport. They've been very impressive all over the pitch.
Man's certainly dropped back well with his link-up play, really helping him out.
Yeah, I think the wing-backs have had quite the impact in Bidwell and Holden getting forwards. Key part of this win today. Tyler Fisher, such a clever player, linking up.
Lob just gets played in through here. Looking for a consolation for Clarence. Chipped through well. A little bit too much on that ball.
He's holding again.
Really had some joy up that side today.
Oh, good ball. Almost cut off well by DJ Heggie. Now Robbie Cruz. Locks it, falls for Heggie. McKenna was there. Now Malcolm lofting over the top, searching for Naden. Can he get goal side of Reynolds?
There is no high boot there.
And I think that was slightly high and driven.
I think in yoga they call that one the candlestick.
It was very flexibly done, put it that way. It's Devonport looking to drive home a sixth there. Really make it emphatic. And forward goes to Dance.
Spreading the play across to this right side. Bidwell just a long way up right there. They're certainly very hungry here today, Devonport.
Here's Fisher. Touch, but one away by Stevens, and now Lewis. Rob punches it over the top. Zykios to Reynolds. Reynolds to Tyler Fisher. The imports knocking it between themselves. Here's McKenna. Controls and turns. Repelled by Heggie.
Really getting stuck in.
Millington wins it off. He might be eyeing off a hat-trick here. Can he cut inside? No, he tried to cross instead. The King lays it back for Fisher. Tyler Fisher jinks onto his right, drives well blocked. Heggie only as far as Millington. Oh, the hat-trick denied. Well, the woodwork, I think.
I think it's just hit the fence behind it and not quite gotten on target, that one.
Near post.
The ball was doing something very strange.
Well, I was staring straight into some scaffolding and didn't see it beyond the initial shot.
Been impressed by the King since he's come on. He certainly doesn't perhaps look as athletic as he did in his younger days, but he's certainly competing very well up there, showing a lot of strength.
Strong as the ox up top.
That's right.
The big King.
A little bit of Troy Deeney about him.
So handshakes being exchanged on the Devonport bench. They're happy with the job well done. They still might be able to add another one in before the final whistle though. Here's Reynolds. Just to Dom Smith. Now Tyler Fisher. And he just strikes it back for Jack Dance. Tango across to Reynolds. Long raking diagonal. Good ball that. Fix out Holden. Holden looks to get to the byline. Hasn't won a corner though. It'll be a goal kick. Randall thumping it long. And that is full time. A pretty decisive victory from the Devonport Strikers. 5-0. It was 0-0 at half time, but they really put them to the sword there in the second half. A fantastic performance from this young striker side that continues to impress. Quickly go through the better players before we end up here. Jake, who would you give the 3, 2 and 1 to?
Oh, it is. It's a very tough one. I think I'll have to defer to you on this one. I think Holden was absolutely spectacular. Certainly very impressed with Edward Bidwell's work up this right-hand side. Devonport losing a player like Paul Gorry, you got to have young players coming in, and he's just slotted in nicely there. And dare say that they could have potentially even improved that position, which is a big call.
He's a very big call, one I'm not brave enough to make, but he's certainly been a fine addition to this side, Bidwell. I think I enjoyed Andrew's game in the midfield before he went off as well, and Reynolds at the back was an absolute rock.
Reynolds was fantastic at the back. I think I'll give him my one. So, yeah, very good second half here from the Devonport strikers. Disappointing from the Clarence boys. They were certainly organised in the first 45, but just couldn't quite keep that organisation together when the pace of Devonport came at them down that hill.
Yeah, all about the hill. As a dominant display from the strikers. They move top of the table for now. That will all change potentially tomorrow. Or Tuesday rather, when Olympia and the Zebras meet. That's going to be a massive one on Anzac Day. We'll be bringing that one live to you. And South Hobart taking on Launceston City will be the live stream game tomorrow. We'll be back with that then. Till then, stay tuned to the live blog. Northern Rangers and Kingborough up at the NTCA, kicking off in around about half an hour. Mitchie Dent bringing that one to you via the text. But we'll be back tomorrow. South Hobart, Launceston City, the story of the day. Devonport 5, Clarence 0.